Good evening and welcome back. I decided to do another record, so yeah, I'm gonna continue to do my archive number 5, if not mistaken. Today is, of course, 28th of January 2024. The previous video I've done is basically something I input or a new collection that I have just bought today. Today I continue on my collection that is the last two videos back on my last archive section of video from the end of the Japanese collection. So we're going to go present my collection in my albums. Whatever I have put in the album is collection on Japanese occupation. That means Japanese banknotes during the Empire of Japan, outside of Japan currency, and then also we'll go into South Korea, and then in North Korea, a few of North Korea's banknotes. So this will be a short collection of records, right? So we continue from after the Japanese one, which I've already explained. Next one is this is the Japanese occupation. If I'm not mistaken, this note is 50 cent. Basically, it says the Empire of Japan. This is 50 cent for occupying, if I'm not mistaken, at least I know is Hong Kong. There are a few varieties of this kind of banknotes. Like I said, 50 cent, they have just a block number. They have block number with serial number together, or virtually none of them. It's just a blank note. Like this one, this 10 yen, is blank. They don't have the block number. It doesn't have the two block number. It doesn't have the two serial number. So the third variation is just a banknote without anything, just denomination of 10 yen or 50 cent. They have few varieties of 10 cent, 50 cent, 1 yen, and then 5 yen, 10 yen, 50 yen, and 100 yen. The design is very nice. Actually, if the more I look at it, it's actually look very Asian, like very Chinese, but actually it's not so. It's influenced by the Chinese, but the design is very Japanese. If you look at the ceilings of the artwork in most of the shrines in Japan, or the shrines, temples in Japan, most of the motif of a dragon or a phoenix, exactly what the banknotes is being presented here. Chinese, on the other hand, does not design. It does not have the same principal concept of designing the dragon motif like this kind of artwork. So definitely is Japanese design and style, if I would like to say it that way. I have actually a banknote here. Is pretty surprisingly rare. I got it, but I just removed it because I just realized it is actually very rare. There is another version of this. It's known as is used in Indochina. The Japanese invaded the French colonies, which is the currently today is Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia, neighboring Thailand. They use the same design note, but they have a special serial number for it. They have a very special serial number. I don't know whether I can. Give me 1 second. I think I can get it out for to show. Actually, it was originally here, but I took it out from here because I wanted to actually grade. Yeah, it's right here. I got it right here. I wanted to actually you can see, colors are different. This is 10 yen, same actually, but the colors is actually different. This one, however, as you can see, it has serial number and a block with the starting of a Japanese character raw 1. I got this for 95 ringgit. Currently market is selling in such a condition. The back and this one at the back is the same. The pattern is just that the serial number is different. Most of the normal one in China one is this color. It will be in a block number without the Japanese character like this one, and with serial number. So this one is actually used in a very limited quantity in Indochina, in Vietnam, in Laos, and in Cambodia during the Japanese occupation. So they use this one, this type of note with this serial number, as you can see here. Yeah, you can see. Yep. So this one I bought it for 95 ringgit. Again, the person that is selling did not understand. They thought this is actually 31. If you don't read Japanese, they thought this is a number 31. But as I see it, when he was trying to tempt me to buy, I noted this is a kanji. This is a hiragana, a Japanese character, one of the Japanese character called Roichi, Ro 1, and the normal serial number. So I know this is different, and I already go through my catalog book on this one. If I'm not mistaken, according to the book, just turning the pages, one moment. Yep, right here. So as you can see, there is just a block number. There's just a block number. This is with the Japanese character. This is with a block number with serial number. This is blank, just no serial number. This is just with block numbers again. Okay, with the different color spec. Excuse me. So this one is 1347. 1347 is here. Uncirculated is about 350,000 Japanese yen. Uncirculated, brilliant uncirculated is 350,000 yen. Uncirculated is around 150,000 yen. Extremely fine, if I'm not mistaken, is it correct? Primary, I don't read Japanese. Yeah, if it's fine. Yeah, if it's fine. Yeah, if it's fine, it's about 100,000 yen. Virtually, it's about 3,000 ringgit. Virtually, this is, to me, is about 3,200 ringgit. So I already make money. I got it for 95 ringgit. Cheapest one I can price on the worst condition is at 100,000 yen, which is already 3,200 ringgit. So I've already made significantly 98% profit out of my investment. So yeah, so I just realized I got this one from him, and I just put it here. I didn't study it, and once I studied it, I realized I hit a jackpot. This is one of my luckiest investment. I paid 95 ringgit, and at least minimum, according to the catalog, in the worst condition, which this is not. This is quite good. It's not uncirculated. It's probably around extremely fine to very fine, between that border. That is already about 200, 300,000, nearly 200,000 yen. You make about 6,000 out of it, or 6 to 7,000 ringgit actually. So it's a huge investment I made on this one. It's one of my luckiest investment I made. So on with the show on the others. One moment, I zip up this one. This album will be in the future to be presented. Most of it, this is for my portable to travel, to present and show everyone what I have, or to deal with people, what sort of banknotes I have. And mostly it's my bus transport. I don't carry everything in one spot. I just use one book as a transportation to deal with people or trade or sell if I have to. So yeah, this is a Hong Kong occupation. The back is the same as just now that one. This one is the same as the in mainland in Japan, mainland Japan use the 5 yen. So to economize, rather than use this, certain areas of the colony area, like how do I say, like for military usage, especially their soldiers, they will use this currency. This is they have removed the Bank of Japan and so forth. As you can see, this is exactly like this. The Bank of Japan, or they actually cross it out. The first one, emergency time, they use it, they just cross it out. Then later on they add in. So I don't have the addition this one where they cross out here and cross out there and here, or the condition which only applies in mainland Japan, their homeland. This is for soldiers using outside of Japan, outside their mainland. So this is the banknote, and it's vastly a lot of this because there is no serial number. So virtually the government can print as much of this to pay the soldiers or to be used by other outside of Japan, only outside of Japan. So I got this one from Cat's auction. One of them is uncirculated, so, and it's rather very cheap actually to get one of those. This one I got it from local, from someone. I forgot who are they. Who is he? You see that they just cross it out and they write in the conditions here and so forth. Same goes to the 5 yen. The pattern design is the same as what they use in mainland, just that they cross out this and that and overprint it for military use. Same goes to this 100 yen. This one is basically, I believe, comes from this. When they have upgrade this without the printing having this at the Bank of Japan letters, it becomes like this and a different color, so they're easy for people, easy to differentiate between this and this usage and acceptances. So you see at the back is almost similarly same, but they have the main word here to tell what are the condition of the use of this banknote. So that's the 100 yen, the Japanese use outside of their country, outside of mainland. I'll just say outside of their mainland, Japan. This one, it's very easy to find. They are all under Japanese influence. This is an emblem of the imperial of the Empire of Japan. Basically, this the symbol or the emblem of the emperor, the chrysanthemum flower. So we call it the chrysanthemum throne, which is set by the emperor. This is another series. They follow the same principles of the banknote, but this is the emblem of the emperor of Manchuko, Emperor Puyi. So this banknote is actually in Manchuko, the Bank of Manchuko. It represents a lot of same principles of design like the Japanese one, but slightly different, so that it has some design that is recognized in Manchuko, North China, and so forth. Famous people, I'm not too sure who are there, but they are definitely representing Chinese characteristic. Even the building itself is a Chinese characteristic. This is a 10 yuan, this is 100 yuan, and I believe they also do the same thing. So they have a variation of this, just a block number without serial number, without serial number, without the block number, with the serial number, or that this is the block number and the serial number. The top is missing, and is only at the bottom. That's a variation they had. It's not. I don't collect. I don't focusing on collecting. As again, I would tell to myself and to many people, I don't collect much of those occupied territories, like Japanese occupied territories banknote. I collect the native banknotes that is the core of the country. So Bank of Japan, used in mainland Japan, China, People's Republic, and Republic of China. They're using in the country, not invading countries. I tend to avoid that to minimize my collection's boundaries. Certain dedication to at least have completeness rather than scatter a lot everywhere, here bits and there. Maybe some other people collection they'd like to do that, but to me, I tend not to, because I feel incomplete. So again, this is the background. This is the symbol of the Bank of Manchuko. As you can see, it is written in Chinese character and also in Manchu language. This is actually Manchu language. It's written in Manchu, which the Manchurians dialect and the language is used by the emperor and also the native people. Again, that's all I have for Manchuko. This one is another different symbol. I forgot what it's called, but this is Korea. This is Korea. When Japanese occupy, or they so-called, they have annexed Korea into Japanese part of Japanese core nation, which they don't have Japanese people over there. Actually, they try to Japanize the Koreans. The Koreans at that time were devastating since 1910 to the end of Second World War at 1946. The process of education system in Korea is they have to abandon their own language. The Japanese force them to learn only and speak only Japanese. It is a process that had begun to clear several generations. Luckily, the resistance and the short period of the war and the occupation from 1910 to 1946, 1945, not 6, 1945, did not weaken the Koreans, and luckily we have what it is today in Korea, divided between North and South, because one side is still influenced by the Soviet Union and the Communist China, the People's Republic of China, and the other side is governed by so-called democratic. Actually, both sides is declaring themselves as their democratic government, elected by the people, but it's how being elected by the people and whether the people are allowed to open to participate, how greatly they can participate in politics and elections. Clearly, in the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China, there are various political parties, but they have to align themselves with the Communist Party. If you are against the Communist Party actually can ban, technically by law, they can ban that party from existing. So that is how their perception that they put up, that they are democratic, they have multiple parties, political parties, but their largest party is the Communist Party. That's how they project, so-called, they are democratic. And then the other side is so-called American version of democratic, or Western countries' democratic system, where directly the people have the choice to create, their own choice to create a form of government, what kind of political party should govern on behalf of them. That's how we split the North and South Korea. I think that is the disadvantage, I would say, that after the weakening by the Japanese since 1910 to 1945, they were not strong enough to consolidate themselves to be a united country, and they split because of foreign external rulers by military or by political rights of influence. We created the communist system and the so-called the capitalist or the democratic system, whichever you like to call it. That's why we have North and South. Now, speaking of that North and South, we're going into the next chapter after this banknote. This is 100 if I'm not mistaken, they use yen. Yes, the Japanese. You see, they don't use yang. The Koreans call it ten yang during the when Korea was under the king or king of Joseon. The banknotes they have and the coins they have, the currency word is called yang, similar to what the Japanese actually using, and the Chinese we call it yuan, Japanese call it yen, and the Korean call it yang. So they're almost similar. So when the Japanese annexed Korea, that word is no longer used in the currencies, and they use only yen, and it's written in English also in yen. Again, this is a symbol of the Bank of Korea, and this is like a government seal in Korea, although they are under the Japanese government ruled by the Japanese. Yeah, not much. There are a lot, but there are decently a number of them, but I tend to skip them. Even their price is very good, I try to skip it unless I really have extra money to spend on. So yeah, so after the Japanese were defeated, Korea was divided to north and south. So it represents in the history, it marks in the history of their banknotes. So I'll start off in banknotes from South Korea. So South Korea tried to reform back their country. So you see, they brought some of their own currency, old language. 10 cent is 10 John, 50 John. Then the new word they converted into won. Won is actually particularly new word in Korean after the Second World War. Previously, their currency, even in the Joseon dynasty, they weren't using won even at that time. So won is relatively new currency after the Second World War. So at that time, they tried their best to bring back their language, their Hangul, and try to eliminate using Hanjal. Hanjal in Korea is amazing. Hanjal is using Chinese character. Hangul is using Korean characters in their language. So you can see the transition from there to there is vastly nearly 180 360 degree spin of change. These two banknotes the printers are much more advanced. I know this one. I'm not too sure about this one, 10 won, but this 2 GL is printed by Thomas de la Rouge in UK. So the banknotes color, the contrast is much sharper, much more brilliant compared to this. I don't know whether this is printed in Thomas de la Rouge. Probably is, but I don't think so. Those Korean banknotes that is printed under outside of Korea, like this one, like printed by UK Thomas de la Rouge, they are much more expensive. There are even older ones than this. They are super rare and super expensive commodities. And so this is a 110 won. This one I got it for 18 ringgit. I think he gave me a discount to 15 ringgit. It will cut to 5 or 0. 50 won. There is another banknote I'm missing here, another 50 won, but that is a very expensive one. So I'm keeping a reserve here to want to get one more here. It's another variation of this one, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have 100 won, another period already, the different design. For Korean, this is actually King Sejong, the great King Sejong, during the 16th century, if I'm not mistaken, 16th or 17th century. Those days look like younger. Then we got 500 won. As you can see, as time progresses, like Japan after the war, the banknotes denomination starts getting bigger and bigger because of inflation. And for Korea, they have to suffer another 3 years of war between the North and South, between America, Western power allied forces versus China and the Soviet Union. So it was a Korean War was another setback for Korea to delay their progress of rebuild, redevelop, and re-educate their citizens on their own culture, their own identity. But in the end, it's their own people killing their own kind. To me, on a side note, about the topic about this matter, recently we have talked about Israelis and Palestine matters. Although they are two different religion and two different race, but in Korea, I think, or even like Vietnam, it was easy to consolidate because culturally, language, they are the same. They are the same people fighting among their own people, just because two different political viewpoint on how to save, how to develop, how to bring or build a future for their country, resulting in the consequences if none of them able to succeed diplomatically or debate like a civilized manner. War was inevitable. I will kill a person so that I silence his ideas, so that my idea can reign supreme. That was the ultimate goal of any civil war. Even in America, the war was questioned about slavery. It became a split with the Confederate States of America and the United States of America. Same nationality, same people, but fighting because of the ideas are different. We have West Germany and East Germany. So to me, the Koreans were having a setback just because it's their own fault. I would just say it that way. They have the problem is because their own fault. Even the Chinese people is their own fault. But of course, the Chinese were a little bit different because the other side of the party, which ran to Taiwan, they will become weak. And in the grace that the mainland was totally captured by the communists, they declared them as liberated from any external rule. Basically, from that point, it was cut off by the sea, the Straits of Formosa. Korea, they're landlocked. You see each other just between a few meters away. Till today, they are still technically at war. And it's a sad thing for me to see a country that is dreamt to reunite one day, but it was separated because of ideas. And how to consolidate power has become an issue. Well, enough about that sidetrack of that one. We're talking about currency, so let me go through that. You can see two different times printer. They are the same design. They're supposed to meant to be the same, but sometimes they're different. Is because of few issues. Different printers. This could be printed in Thomas de la Rue. This could be printed in the Bank of Korea in Korea. Even today, we still do that. In my country, most of my banknotes are printed in locally in Malaysia, but to meet the demand of the commercial bank and the usage of the currency, if the local banks cannot print enough, we hire the foreign engravers and printers to do it, mainly like Thomas de la Rue, Quebec, Australian Reserve Bank, or even Korean bank printing. They are actually quite advanced. Actually, the Korean printing, they're quite advanced in the so-called technology usage, which we will see. So they have 100 won, different color, different tones. 500 won, change color. Then this one is one of the foundation that we use till today in South Korea. This is the base of the first. I like this one, the first series, because the motifs were everywhere. It's beautiful. It's very feminine. It's very cultured design. There are a lot of that show some of the local flowers in Korea. I don't know what they are, but they are symbolically important. We have a man, I forgot his name, it's actually written here. He is one of the Confucius scholar, if I'm not mistaken. He is one of the Confucius scholar, one of the famous one, who educate the people, not the people, the elite, the aristocrats, and also the imperial family at that time. So he was well respected. But the main important thing I know about him, he is a Confucius scholar. So this is 1,000 won. As you can see, I got that time I bought it 50. Now probably it's about 20 or 25. And then we have 5,000 won and 10,000 won. And this one again, another scholar. Okay, I forgot what is his important role, but I remember he's a scholar for it. And then this is the great King Sejong. This is King Sejong. What's so important about him? He invented the Hangul language, the Korean language. All the characters written here were all invented by him. He produced a lot of progress in science and mathematics and language and literature. He built the identity what Korea is today. So that is why he has the honorific title as the Great King. Normally the others, his predecessors or his successors, were just merely king and a remark in history. He has to be remarked and honored with Great King because of his contribution to the society. Literally, he built the language that we see today in Korea, literally by him. So that is why he is honored in the banknote in 10,000 won, the highest denomination in South Korea until a few years back, of course. As you can see, the Great Clock Tower. This is supposed to be the Great Clock Tower of the water. He also he also loves doing mathematics and science. So astronomies and so forth was all in the study progress from him. I'm not too sure what building is this, but to me, I love the architectural buildings, the landscape, the cityscape kind of design on their banknotes. It is beautiful. It's one of the things why I'm attracted to collect South Korea banknotes. This was the last series in Korea, the motif design. Again, the character, the person, the portrait here are the same as the previous one. It's the Confucius scholar, 1,000 yen. I'm sorry, 1,000 won. I got them. 5,000 won and 10,000 won. Now there are a few variations, as you can see later. They are pretty much the same. As you can see, there are three variations. One is the first pattern is solid block here, and the watermark of the king, Great King Sejong here. The watermark is they have a border within the watermark. Then later they print without the watermark, without the borders. As you can see, it's not filled up. It's just a base of the paper color, and it has blind man, so-called for blind man usage to know that 3 dots is 10,000 won. I won't consider it as universal braille, but it's one of the brailles they use in Korea. 3 circles means 10,000 won. So it becomes universal in Korea, but not overseas. So that's one thing. And then the latest variation after this one to this, it's the same concept, but the braille here for the blind man is not green color, is in next page is in gold color. And actually, if you compare to the previous one, it's much larger. This becomes big because there's a lot of people complaining it's too small. they can't feel it. They don't really feel it. They could feel it like 2. This will be representing 5,000 won. So to eliminate that issue, they actually printed larger, and for color wise, they put it in gold. This is a different color than any other colors around. And they put a copyright when it was printed. This was printed copyright in year 2000. This is 5,000 won, was copyright in 2002. As you can see, it's just 2 dots. This is a new one over this one. Okay, for most of the modern Bank of Korea, for South Korea's bank currency, is almost complete. And there are not much of banknotes change. Most of the variations I have already captured. So most of it, the banknotes that I don't have, is much more earlier. For example, for example, this variation is not the same series as this. This is not. Sorry, this series and this is are different. Alright, sorry, these are the same. I'm making a bungle. This is different. This series I'm missing 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000. I'm missing this one, and they are the one of very expensive. They cost thousands of dollars to get that note. Apparently, they circulated those notes, those big denomination, in a small quantity, and also in a very short span of time, and that is why it's rare. Before they converted to this one, this series, then this series are much more common and available quite widely. So I've been collecting these banknotes since I was in probably around in 2015, 2016, to have all the Koreans. That was the time my ambition of the Bank of Korea, my collection. So I achieved the goal with my budget, whatever I have. So today I'm not so focused on Korea. If I found those rare banknotes that I wanted, it is still in my list. I would want to get it, so long the price is reasonable. Yeah. So this will be the last notes of Bank Korea, the second last issue. The current issues are this one. You go to Korea today, you visit Korea or work in Korea. If you be in South Korea anyway, these are the currency you will see. It's very common. It has the Euroyan, the so-called the stars of Euro, to prevent scanning or printing it. The Braille is here within the 1,000 mark here, and the 2 dots and 3 dots. The design is again is more simplicity, it's much more simple compared to the previous one. They try to keep the motifs of the indigenous floral and architecture, but I feel it's very abstract. It became very abstract. So they wanted to make it more modern. I understand what they are trying to approach, but it loses the touch of what the traditional buildings and architecture and floral, more realistic, becoming more abstract. That is what I felt. But they have meaning, of course. It's probably written in Korean, so I don't understand. Now, with carrying on with the new series of banknotes, they increased. Previously 10,000 won was the biggest denomination, but in this new series they actually include another bigger denomination, 50,000 won. 50,000 won. But and also they're supposed to initially issue 100,000 won. They were planned to issue 100,000 won banknote, but the problem is the banknote that they wanted to design have two obstacles in so-called political stalemate. First one, they wanted to present in the banknote a united Korea between the North and the South into one. They wanted to portray that in the 100,000 won. Rather than showing off the traditions of the past, they want to represent the 100,000 won, the future, current to the future, what is expected. The controversial number two, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong on this, is they wanted to include the controversial island. If I'm not mistaken, what's it called? That bloody island. I forgot the name of the island at the moment, but there's one island, Doktu, if I'm not mistaken. Doktu. They wanted to include that in their map, claiming that Doktu. So the front is talking about United. The front of the banknote is talking about United Korea, and the back of the banknote is talking about Doktu. Doktu. If I'm not mistaken, if I pronounce it correctly. But that island is controversial because that island was a claim by the Japanese. So it will be controversial banknotes, if you ask me, in design wise. I think they should have 100,000 won banknote because a lot of their uh, products that people are buying there, they, you know, 50, this is considered to them like $50. This is $10. This is $5. This is $1. The sense of purchasing power of buying things, you can imagine this is just $1. This is $5, $10, $50. So the next nomination should be big. It should cover $100 kind of thing. So 100,000 won is another subject. The other, probably in the future, what they would do is actually revalue their denomination by removing 2 zeros or 3 zeros. Many countries have that idea to pursue, to remove the zeros of their banknote. Like Zimbabwe has did that. From one of the billions of dollars, so-called the banknotes, there are billions Zimbabwean dollars, like 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. They have to revalue it and restructure it to change that. So if you're a weak economy, suffering hyperinflation, yes, I think it's a great time to do that. But when a country is already very strong, like Japan, Korea, South Korea specifically, Vietnam and Indonesia, you notice that this country still keeps the zeros at the back because the current economic progress is running fine in their favor. So there's no point in changing it. But there is a period in Japan, there is a period just in South Korea wanted to eliminate the zeros, including Indonesia, to eliminate, if I'm not mistaken, to eliminate how many zeros? In Indonesia, they wanted to eliminate 4 zeros. In Indonesia, they wanted to remove 4 zeros. In South Korea, they wanted to remove 3 zeros. And in Japan, they wanted to change the yen to rin. Yes, they want to change yen to rin. So their 1,000 yen should be converted to rin is 10 rin. 10,000 yen is 100 rin. And 5,000 yen is supposed to be 50 rin, etc., etc. Basically, they're removing 2 zeros. Basically, they're trying to remove 2 zeros. Yet again, because the economy is not in a downturn or in the event of hyperinflation, they're not doing it. Because why would you want to reinvent a wheel? Why you want to reinvent a wheel when the wheel is still running very good? That is the so-called issues they have. So we won't anytime soon, near future, we will see most of these countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan slashing off zeros from the back, if currently it's all freaking fine. Now, what I knew about 50,000 won, that this lady is it's supposed to represent obedience and the virtue of Confucianism, the matriarch of the family. She's actually the mother to this guy. This guy's mother is her. the lead in history. We know he is the lead scholar for Confucius. We have the mother scholars Confucius, something like that. But basically, to me the indirect message you're telling is a mother's sacrifice, motherhood, feminism, and also the respect of your elder, especially from 1000 won to is he her mother is his mother is this lady. I don't know the name already, but actually you can find out in the web page at internet about it. So, and it's the only banknote will have a silver thread line here, because the denomination of this it is actually strong current denomination. It's quite big denomination, so they added security measures so that it doesn't how do I say it doesn't counterfeit or have some alterations. King Sejong, as you can see at the back, they try to represent landscape of Korea and the words in Korean in the background. This actually tries to show that he invented the Korean words, the Hangul. As far as I know, that is how the Koreans portray the importance of him, the invention or creation of the Korean language. So that is all they had in South Korea. There's a lot more background. You can see there are astronomers, the progress in astronomy, and literature and artwork, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, there are plenty of it, a background history, but I'm not going to talk because I got not much of information on this. The least information I don't have is North Korea. North Korean banknotes are quite, how do I say, in a nutshell, they're very patriotic. Patriotic to your leader, to your country, your comrades. It's very nationalism. Then the banknotes is representing very poster-like nationalism, communism, serve your country. So that is the identity of North Korea. So the banknotes they have is portrayed in such a way. So it's quite unique, I would say, in Asia to have such a banknote. But most of this banknote design is similar to the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc during the Iron Curtain, like Poland, Romania, blah blah blah, or the East European countries. Most of the banknotes are similar in such a manner. So the nutshell of it is, to me, it's quite poorly designed. It's quite literally in your face of the idea. It's not refined. Yes, the design is not refined. Compared to the China one, they are much more refined. There is a series that I like, is 1980 and 1990 series. That between running 1980 and 1990, it represents the people. And then the 50 yuan in China represents the idea of a communist class, the working class citizens, the farmer, intellectual, which is almost similar to here, which is the base of communism, the farmer, the intellectual, and the industrial working class. Three important class that creates the harmony of a country. So this one they look similar, but actually they are different variation. Again, different variation. There are serial numbers, the prefix. This is red and this is black. This is red and this is red. This is black and this is black. Why? At the front it looks all the same. Nothing. It still say the People's Democratic Party of the People's Democratic Republic of Korea, the PRK. This is a symbol of the country, the emblem of the country, which is quite uniquely modern. The red star, the weeds are growing around, and the electricity dams is quite old-fashioned, and they still use it today. This banknote, I don't know whether it's still legal tender, but they have a new banknotes. But these banknotes are quite unique. This is a regular banknote, and they have a stamp here. This is for foreigners using this banknote. They cannot possess this. They only can possess this. This is for people who are in a socialist country. This is if I'm a tourist from China, People's Republic of China, or from Cuba, or from the former in the Soviet Union at that time, I will have this banknote with a red label stating that my money is used because I'm from a communist country or a socialist country. Blank is for normal citizens, quite generic. Blue, however, as this one it says stamped in blue, is representing you are from if I'm not mistaken, blue it represents you are from a foreigner who are living a capitalist system. And that's what it meant. I believe so. It's been a long time I have not seen this, so I have quite forgotten it. So yeah, pretty much it's the same. Yes, it's generic. This is for socialists. The background shows the country's landscape. I think this is very nice. I like this. It's similar to what Chinese did. This is quite plain for 10 won. I don't like this one. This one is showing their struggle of their revolution to free themselves. Really difficult to absorb this kind of design. 10 yuan, 10 won. This is plain one, just a plain. This is red. This is black. This is red. But I believe, yeah, the green one. This one is for capitalists, if I'm not mistaken. This is a socialist country. This is for diplomats from a communist country. So this is actually used for diplomat in a capitalist country. Diplomat for a communist country. This is socialist. Again, generic, plain. Socialist, tourist, socialist. And it comes to 100. You have Kim Il Sung. You have Kim Il Sung when he was young. Damn. Again, this is the notes, the diplomats, and so forth. This is stamp. It means it has been used. After this, they have upgraded their notes to this. Again, the progress of science and modernization. Again, the banknotes lacks security, progressive motif design. It's just lacking. I felt it's very lacking in that design sense. But and then once they come to this kind of banknote, this series, they don't have a separation between a socialist or communist country because they realized that Soviet Union already collapsed, became a Russian Federation. China has already embraced capitalism in so-called China way under Deng Xiaoping reform. So there are no really big powers of communist countries. They are purely real communist countries. So their banknotes started to reflect in that sense that they eliminated that socialist and capitalist stamp banknotes. So throughout this time until now, all banknotes are used the same. Whether you're a citizen, you're a foreigner, you're a tourist, you're a diplomat, they're using all the same notes. So it becomes more to us considered as normal. They got 50 yuan, 100 yuan. Sorry, yuan. Sorry, it's not yuan. Won. Then 100 won. We have 5,000 won, and from there, this is a newer one. This is all commemorative banknote. Commemorative of the founding of their country from 1948. It was the founding of the party to 2018. So it's so-called almost 50 years anniversary kind of thing. So I have filled this 250, 200, 1 won, and then 500 won, 1,000 won, 2,000 won, and 5,000 won, which is stamped founding of their North Korea till 2019. So that's it. Koreans are not much of it, especially North Korea. I don't have many of them. Sending grading for North Korean banknotes, especially to PMG, is ridiculously impossible because American laws, do not permit any form of such transaction of a state that is a rogue state, like Iran and North Korea, so-called the enemy to Americans. But anyhow, I got not much of Korean banknotes and so forth. So that's all I have for today. Nothing much. So that's it for today. I hope the recording is short and sweet, and if anything you like, to ask me or rebuttal, tell me, telling me that I make a mistake, please do so. I'm always here to learn. Knowledge is to be shared and to be cared for to everyone. The power of knowledge is the best, not hatred or argument or fight. That's how I view, and I'd like to say good night. Share and like if you want, and subscribe if you wish to see my other future banknotes. Eventually, my archive banknotes would be complete, and further on banknotes that I will be updating is probably what other new things I've learned, or what I have bought new things into my collection. So this is my own journey, if to share to everyone if you wish to know or follow. I hope all will be well, and good night.